Coming up on LUTV News, a 15-year-old high school student is now behind bars. I'll have a live report for you coming up next.
Plus, what is going on with these dropping gas prices and will they continue?
And is this fall weather finally here to stay?
Those stories plus sports, weather, and more ahead on LUTV News.
Welcome to this edition of LUTV News. I'm Steve Kornfeld.
And I'm Madison Burke.
LUTV was first on the scene Wednesday when a St. Charles high school went into lockdown.
LUTV's Jessica Rogers is on the scene with more.
That's right, guys. A 15-year-old St. Charles high school student now faces charges of terrorist threats. Wednesday, St. Charles High went into lockdown after a fellow student found a threatening note, and the 15-year-old student was arrested Wednesday evening. Lieutenant Mike Akers of the St. Charles Police Department confirms that there were no weapons found on the school's campus. The note claimed that there was a bomb and made specific threats to teachers listing their names. The note also claimed that the attacks would be worse than that of the Columbine attacks. Live for LUTV News, I'm Jessica Rogers.
Thanks, Jessica. A fatal car accident was reported Thursday in the area of Highway K near Outer 364. St. Charles resident Teresa Moore was killed in the accident involving 3 other vehicles. Of the other vehicles, there were no other life-threatening injuries reported. The accident is being investigated by the O'Fallon Police Department.
A controversial state law prohibiting communication between teachers and students on social networking sites is being revised. The Missouri House voted Friday to send Governor Jay Nixon a bill repealing the law. The House's plan also lets school districts make their own communications policies. However, Nixon had not requested this additional provision. It is unclear whether he will sign the bill.
Missouri State Education Commissioner Chris Nicastro will be at the White House Friday for an announcement by President Obama. The announcement will be about planned changes to the education policy. There are expected to be changes to the No Child Left Behind law, and some states could apply for federal exemption. Those states would have to meet guidelines for students preparing for college and making teachers and administrators more accountable.
The House of Representatives has passed legislation to replenish disaster funds, but is facing opposition from the Senate. The Democratic Senate is hoping to kill the bill because of the cuts made by Republicans for clean energy programs. The disaster aid fund may run out early next week, which could lead to a governmental shutdown.
Westbound I-64 will be closed at the Missouri River Sunday, September 25th from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. The lanes going eastbound into St. Louis will remain open. Drivers must use I-70, Route 364, and Route 94 in order to get into St. Charles, while the I-64 lanes and ramps are closed. The closure is for a day-long inspection in order to ensure the safety of the bridge.
Have you gotten used to paying an arm and a leg for gas? Recent economic trouble has lowered prices to give drivers a break. The average price in Missouri is $3.19 a gallon. And just this week, the price in St. Charles County has plummeted to below $3 a gallon. Prices reached a low $2.94 on Friday.
Straight ahead on LUTV News, Lindenwood hosts a career networking night for students.
Find out how students fared at the event.
My sadness and depression grew out of giving myself to my career before I would give myself to myself.
I didn't want to tell my parents. I really didn't want to tell anybody, and I didn't. I shut down.
Giving voice to what you're feeling is part of the healing.
The healing is in me and can also be extended to others.
If you're strong enough to just open your mouth, that's all it takes.
Hi, I'm Terry Williams. Can I tell you that it is way past time for us to come face to face with the issue of mental illness in the Black community? Time for us to stop hiding it behind closed doors. Share ourselves. Healing starts with us.
Local employers set up shop here at Lindenwood this week. Our own Jacqueline Cook is here to tell you why.
Thanks, Madison. Lindenwood's Career Development Center conducted its career networking this past Tuesday. Students attended the event and developed relationships with companies they could potentially work for after graduation. I was able to learn a thing or two about formal interviews as well.
In a relaxed reception-style environment, students spoke with employers asking what qualifications and training skills were beneficial if they were to work with them.
I get to meet people, I get to network with different clients or different companies and learn kind of what they're about, what they're looking for in students or in oncoming employees. So I think that'll be really interesting to see what they think of how students interact with them and watching that.
Lindenwood graduate Nick Wigglesworth from Brown Smith Wallace shared preparation tips for an interview since his days as a student.
Some tips that we have for students that are coming to the career networking night, be prepared and do research on the companies that you know are going to be there so you know a little bit about them. Specifically accounting students to have your 150 hours done before you graduate, so you're CPA eligible, so that will help you in the interview process as well.
Dana Worley, director of Lindenwood Career Development Center, says that students are more prepared at this year's event compared to the previous nights. She also says that this event was directed towards a more business-savvy crowd, but the event welcomes all who want to attend.
The fall event was initially tailored towards accounting and financial firms because most accounting firms do hire in the fall. Spring is simply their peak season, and so for them to hire in the spring is not realistic. It does lend itself primarily to the School of Business. However, if an employer contacts us and wants to come and participate in this event and recruit students, we don't really turn anyone away.
Dana also says that the attendance is crucial to these events and makes Lindenwood a more viable choice for employers to recruit from. For more information, contact Dana Worley in the Career Development Office at Lindenwood. Back to you guys.
On Saturday, October 1st, St. Charles will hold its annual surplus vehicle sale. The event is put on by the St. Charles County government at the Family Arena parking lot. Cars, trucks, SUVs, and 2 Harley-Davidson Road King motorcycles will be available at the sale. Bids must be turned on by 10 a.m. Thursday, October 6th for those wishing to purchase one of the vehicles.
Users of the popular movie rental service Netflix are noticing some changes. Due to the loss in business, Netflix owners have decided to split the company into 2 sections. Before, the Instant View and the DVD by mail service were a one-package price. Netflix plans to separate its DVD by mail service into a separate company and naming it Quickster. Netflix CEO says the change has to do with the loss of over 1 million members in the past few months. 2 Netflix customers we spoke with say the new changes don't bother them too much.
It's a good move for them considering they're adding games to the Quickster.
I stayed with him because I like the streaming. I use it on my TV, I use it on my game systems, and also my Blu-ray player has it on there. So it's real convenient to watch it.
Netflix emailed its customers saying the change will take place soon and they expect prices to fall back to previous levels. When LUTV News returns, Friday morning started with fog and slowly cleared up to cloudy skies. Will all this last all weekend?
I hope not. Elise Jamani has a look at your forecast up next.
When life's this hard, it's no wonder 7,000 students drop out every school day. Visit boostup.org and help kids in your community stay in school.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
I woke up this morning, Madison, and I could barely see outside. It was so foggy, but it looks like it's cleared up a little bit.
Yeah, it was cold too. It's time for me to break out my boots and coats. But we will now go to Elise Jamani and find out what the weather's going to be like.
I know it looks cloudy and gloomy right now, but highs for Friday are expected to rise up to 70 degrees. As we take a look at our current conditions map, we see the high and low pressure systems surrounding the St. Louis area. The low pressure systems can be related to stormy weather, and the high pressure system can decrease humidity. Now let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. We have a 10% chance of rain for the rest of Friday. Saturday we will have the same conditions, but the highs will be in 60s. Sunday we will see stormy weather coming in. Monday is when it will start clearing out, leaving us with partly cloudy skies and then sunny skies into Tuesday. Highs will be in the 70s and lows will be in the 40s and 50s throughout the weekend. That's all for weather. Back to you, Stephen Madison.
The St. Peter's Rexplex will host its annual Fall Triathlon on Sunday, October 2nd. All skill levels are invited to participate in a 500-meter swim, a 21-mile bike ride, and a 5-mile run through St. Peter's parks. Awards and food will be provided after the race. Registration costs $72 for individuals and $99 for teams. For more information, visit stpetersmo.net.
Up next in sports, the Lindenwood women's soccer team was off to a slow start Wednesday night.
LUTV's Brittany Velasco has that and more straight ahead.
Creatures have really big teeth. Some seem out of place. In the animal kingdom, all smiles are not created equal, but they take what they get. Luckily, you don't have to settle for what nature intended, because you can turn to an orthodontist to help achieve that perfect smile. Orthodontists receive an additional 2 to 3 years of specialized education beyond dental school. Their focus is correcting crooked teeth, misaligned jaws, and dental irregularities. Sure, we all wish we had a naturally fabulous smile, but sometimes we need to call in the specialist. Make the most of what nature gave you. Visit an orthodontist for a lifetime of healthy, beautiful smiles. For more information, visit braces.org.
For the Lady Lions hockey team, the first game in the NCAA will be against the #1 team in the country.
LUTV's Brittany Velasco has that story and more in sports.
Lindenwood men's soccer team won against William Jewell 2-1 on Wednesday night. The first half of the game was off to a rough start when both teams weren't able to score. Fran's Husbands led the Lions, scoring the 2 goals that night. The win improved the team 2-5 on the year. Next game will be away against Christian Brothers University on September 23rd. The Lindenwood women's soccer team took their first loss of the season Wednesday night. The Lady Lions fell to William Jewell 1-0. With the loss, the soccer team drops 4-0 to 1. Up next for the Lions is a road game against Emporia State on September 25th. Saturday, Lindenwood's football team will travel to Rolla, Missouri for a game against Missouri S&T. Last Saturday, the Lions got its first NCAA Division II victory with a 55-14 win over St. Joseph's. The football team is currently 3-0 and continues to improve every week. The Lions are expected to win against Missouri S&T and move 4-0. The Lady Lions volleyball team played host to Maryville in a very exciting match Wednesday night. The team found themselves trailing Maryville after 2 close sets of 32-30 and 25-22. The Lady Lions fought back hard and took the 3rd set 23-25 and the 4th set 22-25. In the 5th set, the team could not overpower Maryville and lost the set and the match with 2 costly hitting errors. Maryville improved to 4-4 and the Lions dropped to 6-6 on the season. This year will be the first time the women's hockey team will play a full NCAA schedule. For the first 8 years, the Lady Lions played in the American Collegiate Hockey Association. 14 of the 24 players are freshmen, only 9 are previous Lady Lions, and 1 player is a senior. The first official NCAA opponent will be against the #1 team in the country, the Wisconsin Badgers. That's all I have for sports. Back to you, Stephen Madison.
That's it for this edition of LUTV News. I'm Steve Kornfeld.
And I'm Madison Burke. Thanks for joining us.